Have you ever wondered who was the richest person to ever walk this earth? Today, we're going to explore the lives and incredible wealth of history's richest individuals. Get ready to be amazed as we dive into stories that will leave you in awe. William the Conqueror. Let's start our journey with William the Conqueror, the first king of England. Imagine having a fortune worth $228 billion in today's money. That's exactly what William possessed. He was not only a powerful ruler, but also a master of accumulating wealth. One-third of his riches came from taxes collected from the peasants of Normandy. The rest was acquired from the conquered British territories, where local barons had to swear loyalty and pay hefty taxes to keep their land and lives. With his immense wealth, William went on a building spree, erecting over 100 structures, including castles, fortresses, and the iconic White Tower. These were decorated with intricate tapestries, and gold was his favorite color. Everything was gilded in opulence. Osman Ali Khan. Next, we have Osman Ali Khan, the last ruler of Hyderabad and the wealthiest Indian to ever live. At a time when people like J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, and Rothschild were considered the wealthiest, Ali Khan's fortune of $230 billion surpassed them all. His wealth came from being in charge of the only running diamond mine in the world at the time. As the sole supplier of the global diamond trade, accumulating such riches was almost inevitable. Despite his immense wealth, Ali Khan invested in improving the lives of his citizens by introducing electricity, railways, roads, and even an airport to his country. However, he still indulged in lavish possessions, including $100 million worth of gold and silver, over $500 million in jewels, and one of the biggest diamonds in the world, the Jacob Diamond, worth around $50 million. Nicholas Romanov. Our next contender is Nicholas Romanov, the last Russian emperor, whose wealth was a staggering $300 billion. While his subjects lived in poverty, eating grass and dirt, Romanov lived in supreme luxury that would make even today's billionaires envious. A significant portion of his wealth came from the sale of Alaska to the United States. At the time, he had no idea about the oil-rich resources of the land, but it didn't matter, he was already rolling in riches. Romanov's opulence was on full display in the magnificent palaces of St. Petersburg and Moscow, including the iconic Kremlin. These were adorned with exquisite art, gold, and lavish decorations, showcasing the extravagant lifestyle of the Tsar and his family. John D. Rockefeller. Moving on, we have John D. Rockefeller, dubbed the most productive man who ever lived. Over his lifetime, he is estimated to have earned a mind-boggling $1.5 trillion, with a net worth of $400 billion at the end of his life. Rockefeller's riches stemmed from his control of the Standard Oil Company, which dominated 90% of the U.S. oil market for decades. Unlike today's billionaires, Rockefeller knew how to spend his money wisely. One of his first significant purchases was paying to avoid being drafted into the American Civil War, potentially saving his life. Later, he had the idea to pay Winston Churchill to write his biography, although it didn't come to fruition. Rockefeller's wealth was also evident in the family mansions he built, which are now cultural landmarks. These architectural masterpieces were richly decorated with artwork from famous painters. Additionally, he was among the first billionaires to indulge in the luxury of owning one of the earliest automobiles. Mansa Musa. Our journey takes us to the 14th century, where Mansa Musa, the Emperor of Mali, reigned supreme with an estimated net worth of $415 billion, adjusted for today's value. At a time when Europe was ravaged by famine, wars, and plagues, Mali flourished under Musa's rule. Musa conquered the city of Timbuktu, the most important trade center in Africa at the time, adding to his immense wealth. In 1324, he embarked on a legendary pilgrimage to Mecca, showcasing his riches with a caravan stretching as far as the eye could see. This extravagant display of wealth involved carrying tons of gold, thousands of camels and horses, and a massive entourage of tens of thousands of people. Musa even built mosques along the way, leaving a trail of economic ruin due to his lavish spending and the resulting inflation. King Solomon. According to the Bible, King Solomon was regarded as the wealthiest ruler in the world, with an estimated net worth of $2.2 trillion in today's money. The Old Testament states that Solomon received a staggering 25 tons of gold annually for 39 years straight. Experts suggest that thanks to tributes, taxation, and other income sources, Solomon's wealth allowed him to build the first Jewish temple in Jerusalem and live a life of unimaginable luxury. While the Bible portrays his spending as virtuous, one can only imagine the opulence and grandeur that came with such immense riches. Augustus Caesar. Appointing oneself as the first emperor of the world's biggest country might sound like a power move, but that's exactly what Augustus Caesar did around 2,000 years ago. This man overgranted him riches equaling $4.6 trillion in today's money. Not only did Augustus own Egypt, responsible for feeding half of the Roman Empire, but he also inherited 10 million gold coins from his uncle Julius Caesar, worth around $200 billion today. Augustus spent lavishly on infrastructure, monuments, temples, and public entertainment, financing chariot races, gladiator fights, and other sports events. However, his most crucial possession was his army of 250,000 soldiers, which cost him $250 million annually to maintain his rule. Akbar I. Akbar I, the Mughal emperor who ruled over a significant portion of the Indian subcontinent, is next on our list. At one point, he is said to have ruled over 25% of the world's GDP, making his wealth of $21 trillion seem almost modest in comparison. Akbar lived a lavish lifestyle, building 3 astounding palaces in Delhi, Agra, and Fatehpur Sikri, decorated lavishly with gold, silk, marble, and artwork. He was a great patron of the arts and spent millions on paintings, books, music, and various artworks. In an attempt to solidify a nation divided by religion, Akbar even tried to create his religion by mixing Hinduism and Islam, although his efforts ultimately failed. Shenzong. Our journey takes us to China, where Shenzong ruled between 1067 and 1085 during one of the most prosperous periods in the country's history. Shenzong is estimated to have controlled over 30% of the global GDP at that time, with a net worth equivalent to $30 trillion. While Shenzong lived lavishly in palaces that are now architectural landmarks, most of his spending was focused on bettering the lives of his subjects. He implemented new social policies that provided relief to the poorest farmers, ensuring peace and economic growth throughout his reign. That brings us to the end of our exploration of history's wealthiest individuals. From powerful rulers to ruthless conquerors, we've witnessed the extremes of wealth and the lavish lifestyles afforded. If you enjoyed this journey through time and opulence, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content. Stay tuned for our next video, where we'll dive into the secrets of the world's richest royal families. Until next time, keep exploring and learning.